Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a beautiful and kind-hearted young woman named Cinderella. She was the daughter of a wealthy merchant who had married a widow with 2 daughters of her own. After Cinderella's father passed away, her stepmother and stepsisters treated her poorly. Despite their cruelty, Cinderella remained a sweet and gentle soul, always willing to lend a helping hand and never complaining about her situation. She spent most of her days sweeping, dusting, and doing the laundry. But she never lost hope that one day her life would change for the better. One day, an invitation arrived from the palace, announcing that the king's son, Prince Charming, was hosting a grand ball in search of a bride. All the young women in the kingdom were invited, and Cinderella's stepsisters were overjoyed at the prospect of meeting the handsome prince. However, Cinderella was not allowed to attend the ball, as her stepmother and stepsisters did not think she was worthy of meeting the prince. They laughed and mocked her, saying that she was far too dirty and ugly to ever catch the prince's eye. Cinderella tried to ignore their cruel words, but she couldn't help feeling a pang of sadness. She longed to attend the ball and dance with the prince, just like all the other young women. As she sat by the fireplace, staring into the flames, she began to daydream about what it would be like to meet the prince and dance with him. Just then, her fairy godmother appeared in a puff of smoke. She was a kind and wise old woman, with a twinkle in her eye and a wave of her wand. She told Cinderella that she would help her attend the ball, but only if she promised to be mindful of her actions and leave before midnight. Cinderella was overjoyed and promised to do as her fairy godmother instructed. With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed a pumpkin into a beautiful golden carriage, mice into horses, and a rat into a coachman. Cinderella was dressed in a stunning blue gown, with a delicate tiara on her head and a pair of glass slippers on her feet. As Cinderella arrived at the ball, she was the belle of the evening. The prince was immediately smitten with her, and they danced the night away, laughing and talking like they had known each other for years. Cinderella was having the time of her life, but she never forgot her fairy godmother's warning to leave before midnight. As the clock struck 11, Cinderella knew it was time to leave. She said goodbye to the prince and thanked him for the wonderful evening. In her haste, she left behind one of her glass slippers, which the prince found and kept as a token of their magical night together. The next day, the prince went on a quest to find the mysterious woman whose foot fit the glass slipper. He visited every household in the kingdom, trying the slipper on each girl's foot, but none of them fit. When the prince arrived at Cinderella's house, her stepsisters tried to fit into the slipper, but it was too small for them. Cinderella, who was watching from the sidelines, was hesitant to try on the slipper, but the prince insisted. As she slipped her foot into the glass shoe, it fit perfectly. The prince was overjoyed to have found his true love, and he proposed to Cinderella on the spot. They were married in a grand ceremony, with Cinderella's fairy godmother in attendance. As Cinderella looked back on her journey, she realized that being mindful of her actions had led her to her happily ever after. If she had not listened to her fairy godmother and left the ball before midnight, she might have missed her chance with the prince. The moral of the story is that being mindful of our actions is crucial in achieving our goals and finding happiness. We must always be aware of the consequences of our actions and make wise decisions, just like Cinderella did.